All right, let's dive into a story that kicks off with something we all do, looking at old photos, but spirals into, well, a complete digital nightmare.
So, picture this. You're digging through your old digital photos, right? Looking for those happy, forgotten moments. But instead, you find something else. Something that's been there all along, watching you, hiding inside the pixels for 12 long years. Okay, so our story kicks off in March of 2024. We meet Elena Vance, a freelance photographer in Seattle. And, being a photographer, her life is basically one giant digital archive. She's decided it's time to organize the whole thing, and she starts by going way, way back. She's deep in the digital shoebox, right? And she lands on this one photo from a college football game back in 2012. And that's when she sees it. In the background, there's this figure, a man in a dark coat, but his face is just a blur of pixels. Her first thought? It's just a glitch, old camera.
But then she clicks to the next photo. It's months later, a totally different place, a quiet library. And there he is again, hiding in the reflection of a window. Same coat, same pixelated, blurry face. And this is where that feeling of, weird glitch starts turning into something a lot more unsettling.
So this is where a really impossible pattern starts to take shape. Elena goes into a full-on frantic search, jumping through years of photos. And check this out. In 2012, he's just this distant blur at that football game. Fast forward to 2015, her graduation, he's a little clearer, kind of ghostly in the crowd. Then, boom, 2018, a selfie in Times Square, and he's right there, standing behind a newspaper stand. Closer. This terrifying trail leads her right up to the present day.
So she pulls up a photo she took just last week, a cute picture of her new puppy, right in her own living room. The thing is, she knows the doors were locked, the windows were shut, and yet, there he is, deep in the shadows of her hallway. And he's not a blur anymore. He's maybe 10 feet away. And for the very first time, she can make out a detail. His hands are clenched into fists. This isn't about her past anymore. The threat is right here, in her home, now.
Okay, so what do? I mean, you can't exactly call the cops and say, there's a glitchy guy in my old photos, right? So Elena does the smart thing. She reaches out to someone who lives and breathes this stuff, a tech forensics expert, Detective Stephen Getz. She packages up 50 of these photos, a whole 12-year timeline of this silent observer, and sends it over.
Getz calls her back, and you can just hear the panic in his voice. He tells her he's done a deep stack analysis, and this is the twist. This figure isn't a person. It's not being captured by her camera lens. No, it's being rendered into the photo file after she takes the picture. This isn't some ghost hiding in the background. It's a ghost in the machine.
So how is this happening? Well, Getz found a digital signature buried in the metadata. It points to this old piece of software called Memento. Now, on the surface, Memento was totally harmless. It was basically an old-school optimization tool. Its job was to fill in any dead space in a photo, like a blank sky, to help save memory. Just some forgotten, obsolete tech.
Yeah, except this version of Memento wasn't just adding a few extra clouds. This corrupted version was using that dead space for something else. It was using it to slowly build a body, to literally render a predatory entity, pixel by pixel, into her reality.
And that's when it all clicks for Elena, sitting there in her dark office. This thing, this pixelated stalker, it wasn't some guy who started following her 12 years ago. It's a digital parasite, and it's been growing this whole time, feeding on her photos, feeding on her data, using her own memories as the raw material to build itself a body. And right then, as if on cue, the lights in her house flicker and go out. Total darkness. This thing is no longer just on her screen. It's crossed over. And then she hears it. Footsteps. But the sound is all wrong. It's not the sound of boots on hardwood. It sounds like radio static. A harsh, crackling digital sound getting closer and closer. Her instincts kick in. She grabs her camera, the only thing she can think of, and aims it down the dark hallway. The flash fires. And for just that split second, the light illuminates it. And it's not a man. It's a huge, monstrous thing made of shifting, shimmering green pixels, and where its face should be, there's just a black, empty void. She bolts, runs for the front door, her only way out. But the smart lock, the one she installed to keep her safe, it won't budge. It's been overwritten. The very tech in her home has turned on her, trapping her inside with this creature. And when she looks at the little digital display on the lock, it's not showing the time. It's just showing a date, March 27, 2024. Today. The entity isn't just in her house anymore. It's in complete control of it.
Okay, so now we jump forward 2 weeks. Detective Getz is back at Elena's house. It's quiet now, an official crime scene, and he's trying to make sense of what in the world happened here. The coroner's report is just a puzzle. It says Elena died of suffocation, but there are absolutely no signs of a struggle. No marks, nothing. And weirder still, her organs look like she had carbon monoxide poisoning, but every single air quality sensor in the house read normal. The physical evidence just doesn't add up. But Getz thinks the answer isn't in the physical world. He finds the camera Elena used in those final terrifying moments, and he looks at the last photo she ever took. See, her camera wasn't some old thing. It was a high-resolution 50-megapixel beast. And what that means is it provided enough data, enough raw digital material for the Memento algorithm to finally finish what it started. The rendering was complete. And in that final photo, the figure isn't a glitchy green monster. For the first time, it's perfectly clear. It's a man in a dark coat. And Getz recognizes him. It's Leo Vance, an architect who supposedly disappeared 10 years earlier in some bizarre self-driving car crash. This blows the whole case wide open. The investigation digs deeper and uncovers the real, horrifying truth. Memento wasn't just some old software. It was a corporate weapon, a so-called predictive liability program. Its purpose? To archive people that a company's algorithm decided were mathematically inefficient. It wasn't just a glitch. It was a program designed to digitally delete human beings. So what happened to Elena? She wasn't murdered, not really. She was optimized, deleted from the physical world. The program didn't just render Leo Vance into her life, it took her out of it, converting her into nothing more than a compressed digital file. And that leaves us with the really chilling question, especially today. I mean, if our lives, our memories, everything that makes us who we are, if it's all just data, who really holds the master file? Who owns the original copy of you?